Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle, and this is my very first YouTube video. I have been watching the 10 baby names that I love but won't be using videos on YouTube for months now, and wanted to do my own and share the names that I love with everybody. So I have 5 girl names that I love and won't be using since I won't be having any more children, and I have 5 boy names that I was on my list when we were having our kids, and I will tell you at the end the names that I chose for my 2 boys and the reason why. So I'll start with the girls' names that I never got a chance to use. The very first name is Samantha Marie. I've loved this name since I was a little girl, and I always said if I had a daughter, this is the name that I would use. It's classic and very regal, and I've always loved that you could use Sam or Sammy and use boy names as nicknames. I've always loved names like that. My second name is my unique name on the list is Tabitha Rain. Now, I love this name because it's not a name that you would hear very often, but not so crazy that she couldn't write it on a college application or a job resume. And I love the name Rain. And I always thought that if I had a daughter, I would want to have more of earthly elements, because that seemed really important when I was younger. My third name dates me a little bit. I love Ryan Elizabeth. Again, boy's name used as a girl name, and I have had this name before Holly Robinson Peete had her twins, and her daughter is now in college. So I've had this name for a long time before it became a popular name. And I love the classic spelling of Ryan, R-Y-A-N, not the feminine version that's out there now. My fourth name is Charlotte Rose. I love the classic names. This always felt so soft and regal and elegant, and I love the nickname of Charlie or Lottie. My final and most favorite girl name is Teresa or Tess. I think if I had a daughter in this stage of my life, that would be her name. I just think it's so classic, elegant, and regal, but not so crazy and old world that it couldn't be used now. So I'm really digging Tess. Now on to the boy's name that I love but won't be using. And at the end, I'll give you the 2 boys' names that I have and their stories. So my first name is Samuel. Now, as Samantha is my first girl name, I love Samuel. I love Sam, Sammy. I love biblical names. I'm not a religious person by any means, but biblical names have always spoken to me, and I've always been drawn to them. Now, my second one is my unique name, and I had this name when I was a little girl writing stories, and I was always used this as my boy's name, and it is Tobias Knight. I think I got it from a book, Mary Higgins Clark, Remember Me, and I always thought it was such a cute name, Toby, and I love Tobias Knight. Now, the third one dates me quite a bit, is Tristan. Now, I love young Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall. I love the movie. I loved everything about it. And so Tristan has always stuck with me, imagining young Brad Pitt with long brown hair. And I always thought what a great name that I would have. Now, my fourth name is Jedediah. I love the name of this. It means friend of God. I've also loved the nickname Jed. Now, it's a name that's classic and regal and old world and something that it just draws you to it. Jedediah, I just thought what an elegant name that could have, and something that not another boy in his classroom would have. Now, my final name for a boy is a name I wished I had used. Like in the place I am in my life, I had wished I had used it. It's Michael. This is my father's name. I wished I had connected my boys to his name. Like, it seems As I get older in life, I'm more tied to family, and I wish I had used family names. But when I was younger and having children, like, I wanted them to have their own life and their own story to tell, and I didn't want someone else's story attached. But as I get older and my parents get older, I wish that I had used Michael in one of their names. Now I have 2 boys, and my oldest is Jacob Augustus. I have loved the name Jacob. Like, of all of the names in all of the world, Jacob is my absolute favorite. And it is my most favorite since I can remember. And I knew when I had a boy, his name would be Jacob. So when I was in the sonogram and the lady told me it was a boy, nobody was ever going to convince me of another name. My mother read me Jacob Have I Loved when I was a little girl. I loved the book, but I also loved Jacob. I also had a bit of a crush in the 90s on Jakob Dylan from The Wallflowers. He's Bob Dylan's son. And I love the fact that Jacob was spelled with a K. It might not even been him that I loved Jakob Dylan. I think I just loved the name. And I loved the fact that he spelled it with a K. And I said, I'm going to name my son Jacob with a K. Unfortunately, my mother and husband vetoed, and I didn't get that, but I wish to this day that I had fought harder. His middle name is Augustus, after Caesar Augustus of Rome. When he was born, Rome was a popular series on HBO, and my husband is very into Roman history and architecture and stories, and he loves that kind of stuff. And Jacob was born in August, so Augustus seemed to fit. I also wanted his initials to be JAC, in case when he got older he could be Jack, if he didn't like Jacob. But it turns out that he loves Jacob and he won't let anybody call him Jake. He's Jacob. My second son is Nicholas Alexander. Now, it was very difficult to name Nicholas. It took months and months and months to agree upon a name. Like, I have loved Jacob, the name, in my heart for so long. It was so difficult to come up with a name that I thought I could love equally. So we took a lot of suggestion from family and friends, and people gave some interesting suggestions that I don't think I would ever repeat. But my father said Nicholas, and so it was the name that my husband and I agreed upon, and it just sort of stuck with him. And Alexander is after Alexander the Great of Greece, and we wanted to stick with a whole ruler as a middle name for both the boys. My husband will tell you that Nicholas is named after me since my middle name is Nicole, but I will tell you that is not the case. The Yankees won the World Series in 2009, and Nick Swisher was a huge part of that series and such an energy on the team, and he brought something that the Yankees lacked for so long, which was fun and excitement, and I really had a crush on him. So when my dad said Nicholas, I thought, sure, I love Nick Swisher, why not? So I actually got my K this time. So his name is spelled Nickolas. So I finally got it in there. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to be making more in the future. So give a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see everybody soon. Thanks for watching.